The idea here is to make a playlist that triggers your brain into doing specific types of work. Just like the workspace part where you want to do certain types of work in certain. Hi, my name is Clay Hebert. I'm the founder of Crowdfunding Hacks and the author of The Perfect Intro. I'm here to talk to you today about productivity. Jim and I geek out about productivity all the time, and what I want to do today is teach you one of my favorite acronyms about productivity. I know how much Jim loves acronyms. The acronym is SWORD. It's easy to remember, S-W-O-R-D. And I use SWORD because SWORD helps you cut through the distractions. Think about sharpening your focus, sharpening your productivity, and cutting through the distractions using this acronym SWORD. S-W-O-R-D. Now the S in SWORD stands for systems over willpower. And what I mean by that is, you know when your phone dies, you could be walking around the house, you might be in your car, because you have those 1 or 2 phone cords. Your phone often, it gets to be 2 p.m. and it's at 10%, and you get frustrated. So a way to solve that with systems over willpower is to buy a whole bunch of phone cords and put them everywhere in the house. So just like this, what I did, I learned this from my friend Tucker Max. I went to visit him in his house and he had these everywhere, every outlet, one in the kitchen, one in the bedroom, one in the guest bedroom, one in the bathroom. It was everywhere. So when you set your phone down, there was a charger cord to do it. So the old way of doing things is the willpower, which is I use my willpower to try to remember my phone cord. The systems way to solve the problem is to just buy 4 or 5 extra phone cords, put them in every room where you commonly set down your phone, and your phone is charged all day. The W in SWORD stands for workspace. And what this means is you want to assign each workspace a task. You want to assign each workspace a thing that you do in that workspace. Ernest Hemingway never ate at his desk. A lot of us eat at our desks, right? We eat at our cubicle, or sometimes we eat in bed and we're working on our laptop. The idea is to separate these things into multiple things. Ernest Hemingway never ate at his desk. When he went to his desk, he laid out his thing, he had his special pen, and he wrote. We can all learn a little bit from Ernest Hemingway. We want to assign certain workspaces to certain things. So if you want to brainstorm, maybe you always brainstorm on a walk. Maybe you go on a long walk to brainstorm new ideas, bring a Post-it note. But if you want to do actual writing, you go to a specific spot to do your writing. So the idea is your brain gets associated and assigns a certain type of work to a certain workspace. So the W in SWORD stands for workspace. The O in SWORD stands for offline. Now, like Jim, I'm sort of a productivity geek. I love all the apps, all the tools, all the tricks, all the websites. I've tried them all. And what I found is the single best productivity app isn't an app at all. It's a simple little note card like this. The idea is you want to get your to-dos out of your phone, out of the mobile device, out of the thing that is the most distracting from our productivity. If you have a short list of things to get done, why would we put them in the device that we know now is the biggest distraction to our productivity? So this one's simple. Get a card. Any note card will work. The idea is plan it the night before. Write down your most important things. 3 things, 5 things, 10 things, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. One little bonus trick on this. Start the line, all caps, with an action verb. Because if I just write down a website, one, that's too big to do. I can't do a website as a task that I cross off my list to build a whole website. So I might put write, all in caps, W-R-I-T-E, write, copy for about page, right? That's a discrete task that you can do. So get it offline, stop using to-do apps on your phone, think of them the night before, and write each task with all capital letters. The R in SWORD is for recordings, like music, or if it's easier to remember, you can remember R is for Rihanna. The idea here is to make a playlist that triggers your brain into doing specific types of work. Just like the workspace part where you want to do certain types of work in certain areas, once you're in that area, it's actually very useful. It's good for your brain. Put on headphones and put on a certain type of playlist. You might go into Spotify and create a playlist that's called Crushing My Inbox, or you might create a specific playlist of writing. I like specific kinds of music that I don't listen to anywhere else I only listen to when I'm doing a specific task. For me, I like instrumental music when I'm writing, because if I hear words coming in my ears and I'm trying to put words in my brain out in my fingers, it doesn't work very well. But I have instrumental tracks, and if I hear a really great instrumental track that I love, I'll add it to my writing playlist. So the idea is think of the different categories of work, or maybe the different workspaces, and design a playlist for each one. And lastly, the D in SWORD stands for devices. Now, our phones do just about everything, but that doesn't mean that they should. We have all these different devices. We have desktop computers, we have laptop computers, we have phones, we have iPads, and who knows what we're going to have in the future, smart contact lenses. As much as possible, it's great to define very specific tasks for your specific devices. So for instance, don't jump, it's all about task switching. Don't jump from checking your email to watching 20 minutes of YouTube video to catching a little Netflix to going back to your email to answering social media and everything else. Look at all the devices you use on a regular basis, and then think about logically what makes most sense to define specific devices to specific tasks. What I mean by this is a good example. What I try to do is I have a nice 12-inch iPad Pro. I only watch Netflix and Hulu on that. So if I'm going to watch a movie, I get out the iPad Pro and I close my work computer and I go do that in a whole different place. I don't do it at my work desk. So you can kind of combine these tips in the acronym of SWORD. The idea behind that is my brain knows that when I open my iPad Pro, it's Netflix or Hulu time, right? When I open my work computer, it's work time. And your phone, your phone uses texts, emails, things like that. But when possible, whether it's a laptop or whether it's an iPad, try to think about how can you assign specific tasks to specific devices. Another trick for this is Kindle. I finally got a Kindle Paperwhite because I love to read, but sometimes I love to read outside or by the pool, and that doesn't work very well with devices with shiny screens. So my Kindle is where I really, truly read books. I used to read a lot of books on anywhere you could install the Kindle app, on a desktop, on an iPad. Now I read books on my Kindle Paperwhite, and that's my dedicated device for reading, and I find that I get a lot